The NFL Today presents Countdown to Super Bowl. Brought to you by Black & Decker Power Tools for home, shop, and industry. You can expect the best from Black & Decker.
Countdown to Super Bowl VI is in its final hour. In a little over a half hour from now, the Miami Dolphins and the Dallas Cowboys will meet head-to-head for the championship of the National Football League. But the only clock that counts now here in Tulane Stadium and in millions of homes throughout the country is the scoreboard clock, which will count down the 15-minute quarters. This all began over 6 months ago when the 26 teams of the National Football League reported to their summer training camps to get mentally and physically ready for the long, tough season ahead. Preseason games began in August, and then on September 19th, referees' whistles blew in 13 stadiums throughout the country, and the long march to New Orleans was on. 14 weeks later, 8 teams went into the playoffs, and 2 weeks ago, 4 of them played for the championship of the AFC and the NFC. We'll take a look at how those games went in just a moment as the countdown to Super Bowl kickoff continues.
Rebuilding America's cities is a tough and dirty job. It takes men who know how to build, and power tools built to take it. Black & Decker Power Tools. Grinders for steel. Hammers for big jobs in concrete. Saws that cut true and stop instantly. Saws that cut anything. Screwdrivers that fasten fast. Black & Decker Power Tools. Built to stay on the job long after the shine wears off. You can expect the best from Black & Decker.
2 weeks ago today in Texas Stadium, the Dallas Cowboys defended their NFC title against the same team they had defeated in the previous NFC championship, the San Francisco 49ers. Once again, Dallas coach Tom Landry had a defense which quarterback John Brodie could not crack. The game was all but decided on a single play when Brodie attempted a screen pass and 6-foot, 6-inch defensive end George Andre was in perfect position to intercept. George Andre's big play led to Calvin Hill's touchdown, and that turned out to be more than enough to win the NFC title for Dallas. While the defense was tough as ever, the Dallas offense was having its problems. And Roger Staubach turned himself loose and took over the game. Roger Staubach bewitched, bothered, and bewildered the 49ers for the rest of the game. The Cowboys won 14-3 and had therefore earned a second chance at Super Bowl gold and glory. Later that day in rain-swept Miami, Don Shula's Dolphins and All-Pro quarterback Bob Greasy were ready to dethrone the reigning world champion Baltimore Colts. The first artful stroke was a blackboard perfect play-action pass to All-Pro receiver Paul Warfield. This was but the first of many occasions for jubilant Miamians to flutter their flags of victory. Like John Brody, the old master John Unitas could not crack one of the NFL's toughest defensive teams. As in the Dallas game, the biggest play was a sudden and unexpected interception, this time by Miami safety man Dick Anderson. Bob Greasy set up the game's third and last touchdown with another play-action pass to willowy Paul Warfield, one of the most gifted athletes ever to play the game. While Dolphin rooters continue to roar, "We're number one," pro football's leading rusher, Larry Zonka, blasted through a gaping hole and into the end zone for the touchdown that made the score 21-0, sent the crowd into utter ecstasy, and sealed the doom of the reigning world champion Baltimore Colts. In the closing seconds, as the Dolphins' rugged ground attack ate up the remaining time on the clock, the world of pro football witnessed one of its most poignant moments. The old champion was no longer a champion. A new champion had been born, and the final countdown to the Super Bowl had begun. The conference champions had an extra week to prepare for this big one this year. The first part of that week was spent resting up for the championship games, and the second part was spent in workouts, squad meetings, and film sessions. Both the squads arrived here in New Orleans a week ago today, where intensive preparations have been going on. We'll take a look at the key players on both squads and talk with the quarterbacks and the coaches in just a moment.
Whether it's in the repair bay at your local service station or on the assembly line, keeping America rolling calls for air-powered tools built to stay on the job. Black & Decker air tools. They've proved their value in the hands of professionals on factory assembly lines, where Black & Decker air-powered grinders smooth the way day after day. Where powerful, lightweight, air-impact wrenches pass every durability test right on down the line. And Black & Decker high-torque air screwdrivers fasten parts tight for miles to come. Black & Decker professional power tools, built to stay on the job long after the shine wears off. You can expect the best from Black & Decker.
It's said that defense wins football games, and Dallas has one of the best in the league. Their linebacking corps has a total of 31 years' experience, and the kind of know-how often results in the big play, like this one by 13-year man Chuck Howley. Since the playoffs, the names of Stanfill and Buoniconti are becoming better known, but as yet there are no Miami defensive superstars.
I think Bob Lilly is the greatest tackle that I've seen in football. I don't think I've ever seen a player that does the things that he does automatically when the situation presents itself. I know when I first came to Dallas, I recognized that Bob was a good ball player, a top-notch ball player, but I never even realized that he was the type of ball player you just come by maybe once in a coach's lifetime. I feel that Bob doesn't need a great deal of coaching. Heck, I've learned a lot from Bob.
I think last year we developed a winning attitude, something we probably haven't had. The kind of thing you have to, kind of a mental toughness along with an air of confidence. And after we got whipped pretty bad by St. Louis, it brought us all together. We, at that time, decided we were going out and play football the way we thought it ought to be played and quit pussyfooting around.
Bob is always double-teamed. He's triple-teamed. They hold him. They tackle him, they pull him down. And if you watch closely in a game, there's hardly ever there's one man that'll block Bob.
If you look mean on the field, that's because you are mean. And some guys are meaner than others. That doesn't necessarily make them better football players, but some people are just meaner than others.
Wayne Thomas, a superb rusher, is already being hailed as the next Jim Brown. Off the field, he is being criticized in the media for his steadfast refusal to talk to all but a few close friends.
He's a very intelligent young man. He's aware of, what's happening, not only football, but the country, the Far East. I mean, you can talk to him about anything if he likes you. I think he thinks that he's right in doing what he's doing, that he's paid just to play football and just to be quiet rather than to get misquoted.
Wide receiver Bob Hayes has been hampered this year by injuries and the increased use of the zone defense. But with his speed and experience, he is always a threat.
People fail to realize that when you find a zoning team, they're not 100% a zoning team. They're about 80, and sometimes, that other 20% you can drop the bomb.
All around, I think that we'll be going against one of the greatest receivers as far as running and blocking in Paul Warfield. But if I had to have a home run ball, I'd still pick Bob Hayes.
Warfield is one of the greatest receivers ever to play football. I really admire him. I think that all the honors that he's getting, he deserves them because he's a great athlete.
He's been a great asset to us after he catches the ball, making the big run, the big play.
Whatever success I've had has been because I've pretty much stuck to the fundamental things that have been successful for me over the years. I think you gear everything to be exactly right when it comes 1:30 Sunday afternoon.
Miami's 1-2 rushing punch is supplied by fullback Larry Zonka, number 39, and halfback Jim Kick, who is also a receiving threat. The relaxed, easygoing manner off the field is matched by a daring approach on it.
We always would talk about where the possibility might be in a certain play, where it might break, but they're always looking, and when they see the opening, they know how to pick it. And sometimes it doesn't look like the play we called in the huddle, but when they get yardage, we just let them go.
Jim Kick and Larry Zonka, also known as Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. There are so many outstanding football players on these two Super Bowl teams that it would be impossible to enumerate all of them in this short pregame show. Not only that, but in about 3.5 hours, it may turn out that the hero of the day is one of the lesser-known players. At any rate, at this point, just before kickoff, those sharing the biggest responsibilities are the two quarterbacks, Roger Staubach and Bob Griese, and their head coaches, Tom Landry and Don Shula.
Of course, Roger Staubach is probably the big reason we're in the Super Bowl, first of all. Of course, he's had a great year throwing the football, and when he does scramble, of course, he's probably the best running quarterback that is in the league. You'd follow Roger anywhere. I mean, this is probably the biggest trait he has. He's such a dedicated person. He works so hard at the game to be the best that you can't help but, want to be just like him.
If you say, Rod, you got to win this game yourself, you don't have 21 other players out there to help you, he'd say, okay, I can do it.
So I've tried to make them think that, that I'm at ease, which I am, because I've got all the confidence in the world in them. I'm surrounded by a great football team, which puts me at ease. And right now, as a professional, there's no substitute for winning. You must win to be successful. And I am probably my wife terms, a poor loser. It's hard to judge in most of your games how players are going to react, but in this game, our team is going to play the very best they can, and if that's not enough, we'll figure out another way to win.
Well, I don't think it'd be any different than it has been. I don't know why it should be.
He has the ability to throw the ball well, both short and long. But I think the fact that he is a fine athlete, coupled with his intelligence and his dedication to the game, make him just an outstanding quarterback.
Everything in perfect order, you might say. And I think this somewhat carries over into his football because when he plans, he likes to look at things thoroughly when we plan against an opposing team. I think that it took us about 1 year before we could communicate very well as a pair working together. Last year, I had to adjust to his very quick release.
since we have been in the playoffs, it's been looser. The guys are kidding each other more and more, and in the meetings, it's even looser than it has been during the year. I think there was so much pressure during the season that we wanted to get in the playoffs and we wanted to do well, and I think that was the heavy brunt of the pressure. And now that we're in the playoffs and in the Super Bowl, I think this is more like a reward.
Now I think when you play the two big playoff games, which are just like Super Bowls in themselves, you're prepared for the type of pressure and the tension that you have in the Super Bowl.
As far as we're concerned, now we're the football team. The Dolphins are the football team that nobody has heard of. All of a sudden, we're in the Super Bowl, and I sort of enjoy that side of the coin.
I think the first time you ever get the Super Bowl, you don't believe it, because you have to be a great team, and then you have to be awful lucky, because there's about 6 or 7 teams that should be here too, maybe, that aren't here right now, and so we're very fortunate to be here. But I think the second time you come in, then it's a little different. You've been there before, and you're a little calmer in the early part of the week, but when game comes around, you're going to be just as high again.
This is my second chance now to get to be 500 in Super Bowls. And, there is a lot of pressure because I certainly don't want to be a coach that's lost 2 Super Bowls. I'd like to be a coach that after this ball game is 50-50 in the opportunities that we've had. The unique thing is that it's with a different football team. The Baltimore Colts 1 year, and now with the Miami Dolphins.
Pressure can be a distraction, you know, and this is the thing that we concern ourselves about. In a game this big where you work so hard and you work so long to get here and play a game like this, the pressure has to be here, and you feel it. And whether we feel it early in the week or not, we feel it by game time. There's no question about that. And the main thing you try to do is to not let it break your concentration.
What a story this has been, Ray, the way that our football fans have gotten behind this team. And it's something that I'll always remember. I walked down the line after a couple of receptions, I know, with tears in my eyes.
I don't feel that I'm unemotional. I think the thing that people see when I'm on the sideline is I'm very involved in the ball game. I'm concentrating very much. I don't believe anybody can concentrate and be a cheerleader.
Our football team has been a group of people that have really fought and scratched to try to get there.
We have been really unemotional in winning the last 2 games against great teams like Minnesota and San Francisco. We were delighted, but it didn't show because we still have the sting of defeat in the final minute of the Super Bowl last year, and we'll never get rid of it until we rectify it.
In the sports television business, the pressures aren't quite as intense as they are on head coaches and players, but they're there nevertheless. And the countdown for CBS to this year's Super Bowl began several months ago in New York, and it's increased in activity ever since. We're going to show you some of the men behind our Super Bowl cameras and some of them in front of them as the countdown to Super Bowl kickoff continues.
Hi, I'm Charlie Jones. The folks who live down here use Black & Decker garden tools all year round. But no matter where you live, this is your chance to make light work of tedious outdoor jobs with this Black & Decker Super Bowl special. This big capacity shrub and hedge trimmer is only $24.99, the best price ever for this much help. Look at this extra long double-edged blade, a full 16 inches for fast cutting in any direction. And the wraparound handle gives you easy balance for precise control at all angles. With a few quick passes, you can shape up shrubbery, rose bushes, azaleas, even ivy. Look for this, just $24.99 for Black & Decker's Super Bowl special, a real buy during any season of the year. Expect the best from Black & Decker for less than you'd expect.
We got to have the talent with us and the league. The league wants to talk to the talent, brief them on what's happening.
You know, get as much as I can on picture day, both voice material on players and coaches and footage.
I think it would be better if we had a checkout without any band for the first hour, so everybody's familiar with quad switching and the equipment.
1 through 4 give us all the aerial views, so that should only be designated to one of the factors of the quad. You play-by-play cameras on one side, your replay cameras on another.
If we had a promo graphic that we just wanted to zoom on, we put it on a slide instead of a art card, right? Yeah,
and mount it in the diascope?
Yeah.
Could you put that in the insert key?
Right.
Yes.
That 1A line out is a switchable preview?
The 1A preview out is a switchable.
Hey, how many monitors are you going to end up with down there, Tony?
Well, we have 15 cameras, 4 slow-motion devices, We have 2 videotape machines.
21.
All right? And then we have our preview effects so that we can use our score supers and key wipes. All total looks to be about, Artie, what do you think?
26, 27.
28. I get 28,
28.
but that doesn't count Sandy's truck.
Comes out of gate 4, and Dallas comes out of gate 19.
Oh.
Gate 4 is southwest.
Gate 4 is who?
Miami.
Yeah. And this is Dallas down here?
Dallas is down in 19.
All right. Now, Tony wants to get into that shortly.
Right, but those players will come any direction you want them to go in, and if you feel with your camera on the field that you're going to have a guy that goes like this.
We'll have the color monitor, I guess, over here where the void is now, right? And then we'll have a black and white. Also a line monitor next to it's my understanding. Okay?
That's correct.
And then the 3 that Pat's basically concerned with would be over in this position to the right.
Right.
That sound right? Yeah.
Right.
And
I have
spotted over there. If Kelly can stand the height, he'll be over here at the left. Then we'll have our basic stat guy over here to the right.
All right, let's see promo cards in camera 14, please. Okay, get ready with the disc. Let's try it. Yellow. Code is yellow.
Orange. B gets 4, 6, 7 diagonal splits. C gets 11. 4 gets 5. D gets 5. Okay, kickoff. 8. Give me 8 on B. 4 on C. D on 5.
Record on D. Ready for playback. Take 2. I'll tell you what, let's kill that, make both of them this one. Choose the other one. What I want? That's the one we'll use on the air.
Tony, the tease at the top of the show, will that be the big touchdown play, or can it be anything you think is...
It'll be the biggest play of the game. We should do about 45 seconds on that.
All right, where's Pat? Pat, where are you going to be?
I guess back at roving around from locker to locker.
Right.
Make a difference where I am.
Right. And Tommy, you'll hold home base. And we can go up and back that way.
Who gives commercial cues? I do or Tom does?
It's only a matter where we are at that time.
The commercial cue, though, is World Football Champions. We'll be back with the World Football Champions.
In just a moment.
That's good.
Well, Tom Brookshire and Pat Summerall will be surrounded by the victorious people in either the Miami or the Dallas locker room in just about 3 hours. Aside from the 100 television people down here to cover this Super Bowl, 1,400 members of the press are here, and they've been turning out millions of words of copy all week. Now, to check up on the tidal wave of publicity and how it has affected the rest of the country, we conducted a man-in-the-street survey. And we'll be seeing the results of that survey in just a moment as countdown to Super Bowl kickoff continues.
If you've put off a few weekend chores to watch the game, maybe we can make them a little easier for you next weekend with Black & Decker's second Super Bowl special. The new Black & Decker 2-speed quarter-inch drill assortment with the tools and the power to speed and ease dozens of jobs around the house. $15.99 got you this 15-piece Black & Decker Super Bowl special. It's complete with accessories to sand, polish, mix paint, and, of course, drill. That's where this 2-speed drill stands out. With a squeeze of the trigger, you can choose low speed for drilling in metals and masonry or high speed for wood and plastic. You can now get this Black & Decker 2-speed drill assortment for just $15.99. Hurry to your dealer and look for this specially marked box. While they last, the complete assortment is just $15.99, a bargain to brighten anybody's weekend. Expect the best from Black & Decker for less than you'd expect.
I think it presents the classic match between the underdog and an NFL old team.
No question, Dallas.
Well, I really like Miami, and I like the 2 running backs from Miami, Zonka and Kick.
Plus, Dallas has always lost the big games.
Oh, I thought it was fantastic.
Hasn't been played yet.
Oh!
Bob Greasy, I think he's a very smooth player.
A smooth player. He's
Very
also
good.
a very nice-looking guy.
You better believe it.
I think they'll win because Roger Staubach has such cute legs.
Well, I figure Cowboys will take it about 10 points at least.
2 words. They're great, fantastic.
When you go down the street, you see little kids dressed up in their Paul Warfield uniforms and in their Bob Greasy uniforms, and it's great. It really is. Because Miami needed something like that to get it all together.
The Cowboys.
I think Miami will.
You think Miami will? Well, thank you very kindly for stopping by. Who do you think's going to win? Super Bowl. The football game. I have no idea. I mean, you're here.
Dallas. I think Dallas. Dallas.
Dallas gonna knock them naked.
Why do you say Dallas? Why do I say Dallas? Well, the president didn't coach them.
Quite frankly, I don't care who wins the Super Bowl. Just so they get the season over with, then perhaps I'll get some attention from my husband again.
Miami, because of they have the best receiver in football in Paul Warfield.
I like them both.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know too much about it, but I think Miami.
You've just heard that Miami's going to win it.
My boyfriend says Miami.
Oh, premium, yeah.
Do you think that's going to tell the difference in the game?
Yeah. It'll be his field goal that wins the game.
I like the Texas teams.
I could tell. You have a Texas accent.
Yes, I picked it up down there.
Miami, of course. Dead certainty.
The Dolphins?
Well, I got my fingers crossed, hoping Miami will win.
I think Dallas will beat Miami. That's my opinion, though. I don't know if I'm right or wrong. Okay, gotta go back to work now. Okay.
I think Dallas will do it to them if they can contain Kick and Zonka and that wide receiver they got. If they can hold them down, I think they'll win the game. Otherwise, Miami will run right over them.
I think they're terrific.
You think they're terrific? Do you know who's playing?
No, I don't. I don't know nothing about it.
Do you know what the Super Bowl is?
I heard it. Doesn't it come from California?
Maybe Dallas. I think it's great. I'm putting my money on Dallas.
Dallas, they've been in there how many times already? They haven't won yet, you know? And I think they're just going to go in again and do what they did last year, crumble.
I like the Dolphins.
I believe Miami will win it. Dallas is my choice.
Miami. I'm definitely Miami.
Dallas, all the way.
Why?
Why? They're a better team.
I think it's, I guess the best game of the year.
Miami gonna win it.
Great. Great. Can't wait to see it.
Super Bowl is super.
We try to include in that survey a resident of Washington, D.C., a prominent citizen who lives on Pennsylvania Avenue, but he was understandably very busy. And besides, he's already given his preference and put in a play to change the game plan. Well, we hope President Nixon and all of his constituents will enjoy this game coming up. Well, we have about 13 minutes to go now, and we'll have a final word as countdown to Super Bowl kickoff continues.
Naturally, there'll be a wrap-up after the game. But right now, let me wrap up these two Black & Decker Super Bowl specials with an extra special offer. This is Better Homes and Gardens' famous Handyman's Book. And this is their new garden book. Both contain over 400 pages of information and ideas, and both sell regularly for $7.95 each. But now you can save over 40% on them with Black & Decker's money-saving certificates. With the hedge trimmer, you get a garden book certificate. With the 2-speed drill assortment, a handyman's book certificate. And with the certificate, you get a $7.95 Better Homes and Gardens book for just $4.50 postpaid. So hurry to your dealer while these specials last. Get a great value on tools, a great value on how-to books, all from Black & Decker, the last word in value. Expect the best from Black & Decker for less than you'd expect.
Well, everything has been said that can be said. Everything has been written that can be written. From now on, it's up to the two football teams themselves. Perfect weather, a great game in the offing. We'll be back with Super Bowl VI after this pause for station identification.
Sports fans are in for a ribbing when Dick Van Dyke and Carol Channing star in a side-splitting special, I'm a Fan, 1 week from Tuesday on CBS.
Of the Elizabeth City State. At right tackle, number 74, Bob Lilly of Texas Christian.
One of the truly great linemen ever to play this game of pro football.
And at right end, number 66, George Andre of Marquette.
Man who made such a big play against San Francisco in the NFC Championship game.
Now the linebackers. At left linebacker, number 52, Dave Edwards of Auburn.
Dave always on the strong side of the Dallas defense, tough against the run.
The middle linebacker, number 55, Leroy Jordan of Alabama.
Man who led the Cowboys this year in tackle.
The right linebacker, number 54, Chuck Howley of West Virginia.
The Miami Dolphins have tremendous respect for him.
The left cornerback, number 26, Herb Adderley of Michigan State.
Man who's played in more Super Bowls than anyone else. This is fourth.
At the right cornerback is number 20, Mel Renfro of Oregon. The strong safety is number 34, Cornell Green of Utah State. And the free safety, number 43, Cliff Harris.
And you're going to help me with that one, Pat.
That is Ouachita, College in Arkansas. Yes, sir. Okay. And then the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, Tom Landry, and the rest of the members of the Dallas Cowboy team, the champions of the National Football Conference. And now our attention will be turned to the other corner of the field, the starting offensive unit of the American Football Conference champion Miami Dolphins. Wide receiver, number 42, Paul Warfield of Ohio State. Next to him, the left tackle, number 77, Doug Crusan of Indiana.
He'll have the job of blocking George Andre.
Number 67, the left guard, is Bob Kuchenberg of Notre Dame.
And what a challenge he faces this afternoon, facing the great Bob Lilly.
The center, number 61, Bob DeMarco of Dayton.
A man who has solidified this Miami offensive line, former All-Pro of the St. Louis Cardinals.
And at right guard, you will see number 66, Larry Little of Bethune-Cookman.
And this is a man that many consider to be the best offensive guard in all of pro football.
The right tackle, number 73, Norm Evans of Texas Christian.
One of the original remaining Dolphins.
The tight end will be number 80, Marv Fleming of Utah.
This is his third Super Bowl. He played in 2 with the Green Bay Packers.
At wide receiver for the Dolphins, number 81, Howard Twilley of Tulsa.
A pattern receiver who doesn't have great speed, but very reliable.
Now the running backs, number 21, Jim Kick of Wyoming.
Part of the tandem that blocks so well for each other, along with his fullback, this man right here.
And here he is, number 39, Larry Zonka of Syracuse. And the quarterback of the Dolphins, number 12, Bob Greasy of Purdue. And then we'll see the head coach of the Miami Dolphins, Don Shula. There he is, and the rest of his Miami Dolphin team. Just prior to the reenactment of the coin toss, we would like to make mention of our officials for the game. The referee is Jim Tunney. The umpire, Joe Connell. The head linesman, Al Sabato. The line judge, Art Holst. The back judge, Ralph Vandenberg. The field judge, Bob Wortman. And we have alternate officials here today, Bernie Ullman and Tony Sacco. And as our captains, and I don't think we have enough time to run down all of them, Pat.
I was just checking out the Dolphins. They have 5 men out there, including Nick Bonaconti, their fine middle linebacker. Bob Greasy's the man just backing away right there. And the Cowboys also with about 5 or 6 captains for this game. Herb Adderley's the man closest to you.
And Jim Tunney, our referee, indicates that the Dolphins won the toss and have elected to receive. We watch the Cowboys with Tom. Now we will have a march to the flag. Saluting the colors of the United States, members of the 5th U.S. Army, Fort Sam Houston, Texas, with the garrison flag, the United States Marine Corps Silent Drill Team from Washington, and men from the United States Navy and Coast Guard based in New Orleans. Our national anthem will be sung by the United States Air Force Academy Chorale, directed by James Roger Boyd. We will also see a double flyover of Phantom jets from the 33rd Tactical Fighter Wing based at Eglin Air Force Base at Fort Walton Beach in Florida. When our Phantom jets appear, by the way, they will be in what is known as the missing man formation, to remind all of us of our men who are missing or captured in Southeast Asia. We ask that you remember them in your thoughts or prayers. 2 flights of 4 each Phantom jets. And now, ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem. As our Phantom jets from Eglin Air Force Base disappear over the horizon here in New Orleans, what's the latest information you have concerning any possible changes in personnel because of injury for either team?
Just about absolutely none. Both teams are healthy. Neither team really has made any changes with the one exception of Calvin Hill. Walt Garrison will start at running back for the Dallas Cowboys. Hill, as you probably know, re-injured his knee in the playoff game, the championship game, NFC championship game against San Francisco, and he probably will not play. Mike Clark, the Dallas kicker, just about ready.
Mike Clark is number 83. Just a momentary delay while those participating in the March to the Flag, our silent drill team, U.S. Marine Corps silent drill team from Washington, leaving the field now, and we will see Deep Mercury Morris, number 22, Eugene, his given name, we forget that sometimes, and number 32, Hubert Ginn. They will be deep for the Dolphins. Mike Clark will kick off. Needless to say, Tulane Stadium doesn't have an empty seat. So Super Bowl VI just seconds away from getting underway. We will await.
Might point out right here, Ray, that Clark and the Dallas Cowboys will have a wind which ranges up to 25 miles an hour at their back in this first quarter. Miami will be operating against the wind.
And as you will see when the Dolphins line up on the first offensive play, their receivers will have to look into a very bright sun. So on synthetic turf, the Super Bowl number 6 is underway. This is Mercury Morris. 26-yard line of the Dolphins. D.D. Lewis, the first man to meet him of the Cowboys. 20-yard return. First down 10, the Dolphins from the Dolphin 26-yard line. For many of you, familiar names and numbers on both sides of the line. Bob Greasy is number 12, the Dolphin quarterback. His runners are Jim Kick, 21. Larry Zonka, 39. On first down, tipped, almost intercepted by middle linebacker Leroy Jordan.
Let's watch Leroy Jordan. He's number 55, that middle linebacker. As he drops back into the pass coverage, gets his hand up just in time, knocked over where Dallas had a pretty good shot at intercepting first play. That could be an indication right there of what Miami thinks they have to do. That is put the ball in the air against this tough Dallas defense. Let's see.
All right. Different formation now as we listen to Bob Greasy. Warfield in motion. This is Jim Kick. Out to the 33-yard line, where it's going to be third down and 7. You saw Paul Warfield, number 42, go in motion. The other wide receiver of the Dolphins is number 81, Howard Twilley. And to round out the receivers, number 80, Marv Fleming, is the tight end.
That formation, what is known as a red formation with the two backs split wide apart, is when Kick usually carries the ball. If they line up close together, With Zonka, the fullback, directly behind the quarterback, Greasy, then it's he who usually carries the ball.
Warfield right, and Zonka is wide left. This is Jim Kick. Short of a first down. Dave Edwards was the Cowboy who made the great defensive play, and now it looks like we'll have an exchange of the ball on 4th down, and still 3. There was no gain as Greasy and his offensive teammates head to the sidelines.
Larry Seipold is the Miami punter. He'll be punting against the wind, so Dallas should be able to set up some sort of a return. Bob Hayes and I believe Cliff Harris are the deep men for Dallas.
Now they're back inside the Dallas 35-yard line. Seipold's average a little over 40 yards a punt. Low. Hayes will watch it bounce. He's back at the 20 and out of bounds right there. That was Lloyd Mumford, a defensive back, who rolled him out of bounds. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League. It is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the National Football League is prohibited. Starting running backs for the Cowboys, number 32, Walt Garrison. Number 33, Dwayne Thomas. Wide receivers, Lance Allworth, 19. Bob Hayes, 22. It's Allworth and Hayes to the right. Tight end is on the left side, Mike Ditka. This is Hayes. 5-yard gain. Tim Foley and Dick Anderson made the tackle. Let's complete a rundown of these Dallas Cowboys. Interior linemen are Tony Liscio, 64, and a story right there in itself about Liscio. John Nyland, 76. Dave Manders, 51. Blaine Nye, 61. Rayfield Wright, 70. You know, of course, that our quarterbacks both wear number 12. Roger Staubach for the Cowboys. And you'll see Billy Truax at tight end. Billy Truax at tight end now as he carries in instructions on 2nd and 5. Thomas. First down. Cowboys at the Cowboy 34-yard line and the first down of the game.
Miami, you'll notice throughout the afternoon, in a zone defense. Look at this play again. Watch Liscio's block on Stanfield at the top of the screen. Number 64 on number 84. That's the key to this play. Thomas, of course, very deceiving speed. He's a lot bigger than the 205 pounds he's listed at, and he can run.
First down, Dallas. Cowboy 34-yard line. Next play, we'll start setting the defense for you. Allworth to the right. Hayes to the left. Staubach. He's nailed inside the 30 by Manny Fernandez.
Fernandez is supposed to be the best of the Miami pass rushers. Let's watch it again. Close on Roger Staubach, the Dallas quarterback. Protection's not that bad. He's got time. Manny Fernandez, the pass rusher. Very quick, very agile, most aggressive.
Miami front four. Bill Stanfield, 84. Bob Hines, 72. You saw Manny Fernandez, 75. And Jim Riley, number 70. There was a loss on the play of 5. 2nd and 15 from the Dallas 28. No score here in Super Bowl number 6. That's Thomas in motion. No gain. Jim Riley from behind nailed Staubach at just about the line of scrimmage.
Let's take another look at close on Roger Staubach and watch the Miami pass rush. His primary receiver is covered. You can see him look and then pull the ball down and try to scramble.
Dolphin linebackers, Mike Colin, 57, Nick Buonaconti, 85, Doug Swift, 59. At the corners, Curtis Johnson, 45, and Tim Foley, 25. And deeper, Jake Scott, 13, and Dick Anderson, 40. Hayes to the right, Allworth to the left. 3rd down, 15 from the 29 of Dallas. Out of bounds, intended for Allworth. It'll be 4th down and 15. Dick Anderson was covering, but I'm sure you noticed the ball was well overthrown.
Have to give credit to the Miami linebackers who got back in a deep drop. Allworth was wide open. But Staubach had to loft the ball a little bit in order to get the ball over the dropping linebacker, Mike Colin, and he couldn't get the ball to come down soon enough to come into Allworth's hand.
As we look head on at the Dallas punter, Ron Whidbey, who has averaged almost 42 yards per punt. Keep in mind that Jake Scott, 13, and Dick Anderson, 40, are deep. No score, early first quarter. A Miami bounce, and the Dolphins will have 1st and 10 at the Dolphin 42-yard line with 10:16 left to play in the first period. With the score, the Cowboys nothing and the Dolphins nothing. Let's pause for a moment. Miami Dolphin interior linemen, Crusan, Doug Crusan, 77, Bob Kuchenberg, 67, Bob DeMarco, 61, Larry Little, 66, and Norm Evans, 73. First down, Miami, Dolphin 42. This is Larry Zonka, big block from Little. First down. Larry Cole made the tackle, but offensive lineman number 66, Larry Little, made a great block.
Watch him come out, the right offensive guard, 66. Good block by Kick first to cut down the outside linebacker. And Little just takes Herb Adderley right out of the play. Zonka broke the tackle attempt by Leroy Jordan, number 55. The pursuit finally got him, but a good game for the Dolphins.
The Dolphins become the first team to cross midfield. First down, Dallas 46. Zonka fumble. Looks like Dallas. Right. And what I don't know whether to use ironic, coincidence, or what it is, but Kick and Zonka fumbled only once in the regular season. Look at it.
And that's 357 times handling the ball between them. Zonka did not fumble at all during the regular season. That's the first time this year he's lost the football. Chuck Howley, the recovery.
Chuck Howley turns it over to the Cowboys. Dallas now at the Dallas 48-yard line. 9:18 left first quarter, no score. Staubach, Dwayne Thomas. Gain of 2. From the secondary, Jake Scott, number 13, made a fine play, among others, along with 75, Manny Fernandez. Gain of 2, it'll be 2nd and 8. Don Shula, the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. You know, of course, he was in a Super Bowl before as the head coach of the Colts. And he said over and again, all I want to do is be 500. And there's a man who wants to do the same thing. Tom Landry across the field, the head coach of the Cowboys. All right, Roger Staubach knows now what Tom Landry wants to do because the tight end brought it in. 2nd down, 8 from midfield. Hayes was wide left. Staubach gains 5 tough yards. It'll be 3rd and 3 at the Miami 45 as Nick Buonaconti and Bob Hines made the tackle.
Staubach again trying to set up a screen pass. Watch him look to his right and then again be forced to run as Miami's defense again has excellent coverage. The fake was to Garrison. You saw him look for a screen pass. He couldn't find it. They had it well defense.
All right, 3rd down, 3. Miami 45. Allworth to the right, covered by Foley. Hayes is in the slot to the right. Thomas in motion. Got away from one man. Close to a first down. Nailed by Manny Fernandez near the Miami 41 or 2-yard line.
Don Shula had told us during the week that he had to alert his, it is a first down, by the way, he had to alert his defense that any time Staubach started to scramble, they should treat it as a screen pass. Again, his primary receivers are well covered by the Miami secondary. They play strictly a zone. Staubach, as you know, is a fine athlete.
So Staubach picks up a first down at the Miami 41-yard line. Allworth goes left. Hayes is lined up on the left side. First man through, Garrison. Inside the 35-yard line of the Dolphins. Mike Colin made the tackle, but tough. Walt Garrison gets some very big yardage on first down.
He, of course, was the man who gave that Dallas offense a great lift against the San Francisco 49ers. Larry Zonka. The man who fumbled the ball to give it to Dallas to help him set up this drive. They're in field goal range now.
Garrison picked up 8. It's 2nd down and 2. No score, 6:20 first quarter from New Orleans. Garrison, first down, a lot more, inside the 25. Jake Scott of the secondary, Curtis Johnson, the right cornerback.
Again, just a great individual effort by Walt Garrison, number 32. That's Dwayne Nye coming out and blocking the left side linebacker, number 59, Doug Swift for the Dolphins. But most of it is done by number 32, rodeo cowboy Walt Garrison. Garrison 2 times now for 18 yards.
It's a first down for the Cowboys at the Miami 24-yard line. Allworth right, Hayes left. Staubach on first down. He's back at the 37-yard line. And Pat, out of the corner of my eye, it looked like every receiver was covered.
Every receiver except one, and Staubach could not find him. Lance Allworth crossed all the way across the field, and he was wide open. Again, Roger forced a scramble.
Pardon me, a loss of 12 yards. That was Jim Riley and Bob Hines who nailed Staubach for the big loss. So now, 2nd down and 22, and Don Shula looks onto the field as his Dolphin defense, by their own description, a group of no-names seeking identity. They said it over and again this week.
And it would seem they've done an excellent job so far, as Staubach has not been able to pick up his secondary receivers at all. He had that problem against the 49ers, too.
All right, 2nd down, 22. This is Hayes. Short of a first down, but a big gain to the 18-yard line, where it's going to be 3rd down and 4.
Bob Hayes being covered primarily by Curtis Johnson, number 46, but he lost him with that crossing move.
Jake Scott had to make the tackle, 18-yard gain. So here's a big 3rd down, and between 4 and 5. 4:30 left to play, first quarter, no score. Hayes right, Allworth left. 3rd and 4. Inside the 10-yard line, running back Dwayne Thomas has a 1st and goal.
And that is what Staubach is going to have to do, because Miami's doing an excellent job covering his 2 wide receivers, Hayes and Allworth. He's going to have to be able to pick up those secondary receivers. That is the first time he's been able to do it.
All right, on 3rd and 4, Staubach picks up 16 on the pass to Thomas. 1st and goal at the 7. Mike Ditka has carried in the upcoming play. Allworth and Hayes are both to the right. Dwayne Thomas to the 4. What looked like a huge hole was closed in a hurry by Bob Hines and Nick Buonaconti. Right now, we're going to pause 5 seconds for station identification.
Nick Buonaconti, Bob Hines, making the stop as they place the football down at the 4-yard line. It's 2nd down and goal to go. We'll pause 5 seconds for station identification on the CBS Radio Network.
At 790 and 1420 in the Canal Zone, this is SCN Radio, an affiliate of the American Forces Radio and Television Service.
First period, 3:01 left to go. No score, but Dallas knocking at the door. High formation once again. Staubach handing off to Garrison. Garrison is to the 3, perhaps the 2-yard line. Again, the tough front 4 of the Miami Dolphins, along with Mike Cohen, the right side linebacker, making the stop, and they roll him down at the 2-yard line. A 3rd and goal coming up. Dallas, as you know, alternates its tight ends with a play from the bench on every play. Mike Ditka, Billy Truax. Miami has brought in an extra lineman. Frank Cornish has replaced linebacker Mike Poland for this down. Back on foot, it is 3rd and goal to go. Play action, the pass in the left flat. It is caught at the 5-yard line.
The Dolphins finally held, and Dallas settled for a Mike Clark chip shot and a 3-0 first quarter lead. A Miami mistake had been converted into a Dallas score. One game plan had faltered. Another was beginning to assert itself.
2-yard scoring drive. A fumble by Zonka, recovery by Howley, 9-yard field goal, Mike Clark. Mercury Morris and Hubert Ginn are back for Mike Clark's kickoff. Following wind, this is Ginn from the 5. 30, 35, 37. Mel Renfro upset him there.
Seldom has a show caught on so fast and soared to the heights of popularity. I'm talking about the new Sonny and Cher Comedy Hour. So look in on this delightful and highly talented couple and their guest star, Kate Smith, tomorrow night at 10/9 Central Time on CBS.
The Dolphins now from the Miami 37-yard line. Warfield is wide left. Greasy the quarterback. Hick and Zonka the runners. Kick. No gain. Cornell Green made the tackle.
With a big assist from Larry Cole, who penetrated and knocked out all the possible interference. He's number 63, the left defensive end.
Kick picks up 1, second down 9. Only seconds remaining here in the first quarter. Cowboys have a 3-0 edge. Warfield comes left. Twilley comes left. Tight end Fleming is on the right side on 2nd and 9. Twilley in motion. Intended for Warfield. Incomplete. The big collision. Harris and Renfro defending.
And watch the double coverage on Warfield, which is what we expected. Renfro's 20, Harris is 43, Leroy Jordan 55, also back in the picture right there. 0 for 2 is Greasy, and the first quarter is just about done.
3rd down and 9 with 13 seconds remaining on the clock. The Dolphins moving into this wind that at times reaches 25 miles an hour. Warfield left. Greasy forced to scramble. He's down inside the 10-yard line, and Bob Lilly has him.
Greasy, of course, is a fine athlete, but here's one of the best ones around. Number 74 is Lilly. Big pass rush by Dallas. Lilly, Andre, Pugh, and Cole all putting the pressure on Greasy.
A loss of 30 yards. 4th down, 39 from the end zone. Larry Seipel. Hayes and Harris are on the Miami side of the 50, and there's a gun. That's the end of the first quarter with the score. The Dallas Cowboys 3, the Miami Dolphins nothing. We're just about ready to start the second quarter. By waiting 3 seconds, the Dolphins, and specifically punter Larry Seipel, will now have the benefit of a big following wind. Hayes and Harris again are deep. Good punt. Hayes signaled fair catch all the way back at the Dallas 45-yard line. So that punt was in the air over 65 yards.
Next Sunday, NFL Action returns to CBS for a series of 7 30-minute specials on professional football. The opening show is A Glorious Game, a look at the pageantry and glory of the game from the point of view of the fans and the players. That's at 4:30 p.m., 3:30 Central Time, next Sunday on CBS.
Hayes and Allworth break to the right. Tight end Mike Ditka's on the left. Garrison and Thomas are the running backs. Garrison. Again, the Cowboys are able to pick up a good gain on first down. This time, nearly 6 yards. It'll be 2nd and 4. Mike Colon made the stop.
In the first quarter, Dallas got 40 yards rushing, 33 passing for a total of 73. Miami had 19 rushing and none passing for a total of 19. So the Cowboys, owners of a 3-0 lead, also dominated the statistics in the first quarter.
Again, both the wide receivers are on the right side of the field. Thomas now, wing back left. This is Dwayne Thomas. Close to a first down.
Thomas carries, stopped by Nick Buoniconti.
The leader of the Miami defensive unit is Nick Buoniconti, number 85, the middle linebacker. You can see he got fooled a little bit by the Dallas motion in the backfield and started in the direction in which Garrison went. Thomas wound up with the ball with a wing back reverse. But look who still makes the tackle. Some pretty good pursuit right there.
Not. Well, it's close enough it's going to call for a measurement here. The interior lineman for the Dallas Cowboys, Tony Liscio, 64, John Nyland, 76, Dave Manders, 51, and Blaine Nye, 61. Rayfield Wright, number 70. Pat, I mentioned earlier about Tony Liscio. That in itself is a story, isn't it?
It certainly is. Tony had retired, but during the season when Ralph Neely broke his foot, there's Liscio, number 64, broke his foot. Tom Landry made a phone call to Tony Liscio, asked him to come back and play. He said he would after thinking for about 30 minutes, and he's done an outstanding job.
It was a first down at the Miami 44. On first down, Staubach. He is going deep for Hayes. What a play! What a play by cornerback Tim Foley, who had him all the way, number 25.
Hayes had a step or two, but remember that Roger Staubach's throwing into a pretty strong wind here. Looked like the ball might have hung just a bit, because Hayes had him by a stride right there, you can see. But a good play. Tim Foley, number 25, second-year man from Purdue. Out last year, most of the season with injuries. He's come on to do a fine job.
Would you believe that right now Hayes is just getting back to the huddle? He was all the way down at the goal line.
Staubach now 4 out of 6 for a total of 40 yards. That's the first time he's really had good protection. Miami's had a good pass rush.
13-19 left to play in the first half. Second down 10. The Cowboys at the Dolphin 44. This is a screen to Garrison. Short gain, about 4. It'll be third down and 6. And Doug Swift and Nick Buoniconti, 2 of the 3 Dolphin linebackers, were outstanding on that stop.
Well, I'll tell you, I don't want to wear you out with it, but it's hard to overemphasize the importance of the great pursuit this Miami defense has had so far. Dallas has had the ball most of the time.
The Cowboys have a 3-0 lead. Dallas recovered a Larry Zonka fumble at the Dallas 48-yard line and went 52 yards. Climaxed by the field goal by Clark. Whistle on the field. Roger Staubach is headed for the sidelines. So with the score, the Cowboys 3 and the Dolphins nothing. Let's pause for a moment. Quarterback Roger Staubach of the Cowboys has had a chance to talk with Tom Landry and other members of the Cowboy coaching staff, and in a moment we'll know what they have decided. It is 3rd and 6. The Cowboys are at their Miami Dolphin 40-yard line. Now keep in mind, Dallas's receivers here in the second quarter must look back into a very bright sun.
That's the timeout Dallas did not want to take. They had some confusion in the offensive huddle, so that leaves them now with only 2 in this quarter.
Hayes left. Allworth right. 3rd and 6. Intended receiver Allworth defending Tim Foley. It'll be 4th and 6.
I don't believe that Dallas will try a field goal from this position. It would be about 47 yards, and Clark has not been that strong a kicker this year. So we'll probably see punter Ron Whitby.
It is Whitby from inside the 50. Return man will be Dick Anderson and Jake Scott. Anderson wears 40. It was Anderson, you know, who made that just fantastic run, aided by even more outstanding blocking against the Colts in their playoff. Great punt into the wind. It'll be a touchback, and the Dolphins, trailing by 3-0, will start from the Miami 20-yard line.
Next Sunday, CBS will resume its coverage of National Hockey League games with the Buffalo Sabres meeting the Boston Bruins at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Starting next week, you'll see an NHL game every Sunday through the Stanley Cup playoffs, and of course, it's on CBS.
The Dolphins, who have been unable to get anything started offensively so far, start from the Miami 20-yard line. Twilly right, Warfield left. Jim Kick, 25, close to a first down. Just about a foot shy of the 30. Cliff Harris ran him out of bounds. Jim Kick.
And I think you possibly saw on that play one of the things that Don Shula, the Miami coach, is most proud of, and that is something that very few teams have. Good outside blockers. Both Paul Warfield and Howard Twilly are excellent blockers, and that's one of the things that make this wide Miami attack go. That's Nick Buonaconti on the Miami sideline.
It's second down and about a foot to go, and Twilly comes wide right. He draws the attention of cornerback Herb Adderley. Looks like a first down for Zonka. Forward progress is marked the 31-yard line. Miami's interior line made up of Doug Crusan, 67, Bob Kuchenberg, 67, Crusan 77, Bob DeMarco, number 61, the veteran center, Larry Little, number 66. There's the head coach of the Cowboys, Tom Landry. Norm Evans, number 73, is the right tackle. Twilly comes right. Warfield left. First down, Dolphins. Dolphin 31-yard line. Greasy, who's looking for his first completion. Twilly, first down. 49-yard line of the Cowboys. Adderley and Harris made the tackle.
Greasy just barely got rid of this ball. Watch this. Adderley covering Howard Twilly. He's supposed to be a good pattern man, and he sure ran a good one right there. Harris coming up to make the tackle with help from Herb Adderley. 20-yard gain for Miami. Greasy's first completion.
11 minutes and a couple of seconds remaining first half. 3-0 Cowboys. Zonka reached the 46 of Dallas, where it'll be 2nd and 7. Edwards and Cole teamed up to make the stop. During the regular season, Jim Kick gained 738 yards running, and Larry Zonka picked up over 1,000.
And one of the things they do so well is block for each other. You remember a long run by Zonka earlier in the game for first down. Kick got just a tremendous block on Dave Edwards.
Warfield to the left. Mel Renfro is about 5 yards off the line against him. 2nd and 7. Ruled incomplete. Warfield. I shouldn't have said ruled incomplete. It was incomplete. Warfield and Renfro collided around the Dallas 30.
A lot of people felt that the Cowboys would have to weaken themselves by double covering Warfield wherever he went. But Tom Landry has great confidence in the ability of this man, number 20, Mel Renfro, and he doesn't mind leaving him one-on-one on anybody. Warfield's a pretty tough assignment.
Jethro Pugh put a pretty good rush on Greasy that time, and so here are the Dolphins with a 3rd and 7 at the Dallas 46. Warfield goes left. Twilly comes right. Out of bounds at the 42-yard line.
I think it's one of the setbacks, Jim. Kim coming out of the backfield, yes.
Short of a first down by about 3 yards. All right. The man Dolphin fans will never forget. Darrell Epremian comes on. He has the benefit of a following wind of about, well, in excess of 20 miles an hour from 49 yards away. 28 of 40 regular season. under the crossbar. Touchback. That was Mel Renfro who was back there in the event Dallas elected a run back. So the Dolphins are still without a score, but the Cowboys will start from the Dallas 20. With the score, the Cowboys 3 and the Dolphins nothing. Let's pause for a moment.
This is the big country. In this country, a man grows a healthy lust for living. He also grows one of the world's mightiest thirsts. That's why Lone Star, the beer that's brewed here for the men who live here, became one of the world's finest, lightest beers. To go all the way with a big country thirst. Lone Star, the beer from the big country. The beer every beer would like to be like. That is Lone Star.
Head coach Don Shula is the man right behind Howard Twilley, one of the Miami wide receivers. Well, Don just about disappeared from view right there. Meanwhile, Tom Landry, and over and again, the pacing man of the Cowboys. First down, Dallas. Dallas 20-yard line. Dwayne Thomas. 5 yards. 10 yards. Tim Foley made the tackle.
Let's take another look and watch the outstanding job done by the right side of this offensive line for Dallas. Dave Mender's a good block right there. Garrison leading the play. The rest of it's done by Thomas himself. You can see, based on how quick a move he made right there, that footing here in Tulane Stadium is very, very good.
It is a first down. Billy Truax has carried in this coming play now. Allworth left. Hayes right. Thomas again. First down. I'm sorry, Walt Garrison, number 32.
Looks like they found the spot they want to work on. The last two plays, very successful. They've been directed at the left side of that Miami defense. That's middle linebacker Nick Buonaconti, number 85. Watch him pick him up. Let's see who gets the job done here. He must have influenced him. That's Blaine Nye, number 61, who's got the good block on him. He's the right offensive guard for Dallas. 17 yards for Walt Garrison on that carry.
All right, first down at the Dallas 47. Thomas this time is nailed by Fernandez at the line of scrimmage.
'84, the right defensive end for Miami, is the man who forced it inside. Billy Truax, in the event I should say that you don't know, Tom Landry calls all the plays for the Dallas Cowboys and shuttles his two tight ends, Billy Truax and Mike Ditka. They bring the word of Tom Landry into Roger Staubach.
This time it was Truax, second down 10. Garrison. And nothing there. Mike Colin helped out that time, the linebacker. And it's going to be third down and still about, well, maybe 9 yards to go for a first down. 7:50 left to play in the first half. The Cowboys are leading 3-0, capitalizing on a turnover. A fumble by Miami's Larry Zonka, recovered by Chuck Howley. Mike Clark kicked a field goal of 9 yards. Took him 11 plays to get the score. 3rd and 9. Hayes left. Allworth right. Staubach. Mike Ditka, the intended receiver, and he was hit hard by linebacker Doug Swift, and it's incomplete. It'll be 4th and 9.
Ditka was wide open. Swift is number 59. Looks like he's got him right by himself, which is rather strange. That must mean they're double covering the outside receivers. Just took his eyes off of it. That's about all you can say about it.
Ron Whitby is the punter. Into the wind. No change in return men. Dick Anderson, Jake Scott will watch from behind the punter Whitby, inside the Dallas 35. And it'll be Miami at the Dolphin 26-yard line with a 1st and 10. With the score, the Cowboys 3 and the Dolphins nothing. Let's pause for a moment. Jam-packed Tulane Stadium in New Orleans for Super Bowl number 6 to see if the so-called Cinderella team, the Dolphins, in their 6th year, can defeat the Dallas Cowboys. 1st and 10 Miami, Dolphin 26. Greasy, almost intercepted by a linebacker. Intended receiver was Warfield. Cliff Harris was defending too. That's worth a second look.
And this is just about the play that President Nixon suggested that the Dolphins run. A down and in to Paul Warfield. Ball's a little bit high for Paul to handle, and he couldn't quite find the handle, as you can see. Cliff Harris coming over, and Mel Renfro had him on the outside. Leroy Jordan and a couple of others had shots at it, but stayed up in the air a little bit longer.
2 of 6 completions for Greasy, 24 yards. 2nd and 10. Out to the 30 comes Zonka.
Walt Garrison, tough Dallas fullback, checking his fingers on the Dallas bench. What he's doing right there, I hope I can explain it to you. He's just put some stickum on his hands to help him hold onto the ball a little bit better. And he's just checking to see that the stickum is operating.
Let's see what Greasy decides here on 3rd and 8 from the Miami 29-yard line. Third and 8. Complete to the 35-yard line. Shy of a first down will be Jim Kick. He needed to reach the 37. Cliff Harris made a fine defensive play. Chuck Howley put a big rush on the passer.
Which indicates that the Cowboys were blitzing that particular time because Howley is a linebacker, and that's the first one they've shown this afternoon.
Bob Hayes is inside the Dallas 40. Cliff Harris will come into view in a second. There's the Dallas Speedster. Punts of 46 and 47 yards by Larry Seipel. Cowboys will be back inside the Cowboy 25-yard line.
There's some great golf action scheduled in the months ahead. The CBS Golf Classic is currently on each Saturday. The last weekend in February, you'll see the Jackie Gleason Inverary Classic, the richest tournament on the PGA Tour, by the way. And then the second week in April, the famed Masters tournament from the Augusta National. All of that golf action on CBS.
We have not seen, we're looking at Don Shula right now, we have not seen running back Calvin Hill, and as time goes by, it becomes ever more doubtful that we will see Calvin Hill today. It's been Garrison, Walt Garrison, and Dwayne Thomas so far, and they're in there now. 7 carries, 45 yards, Garrison, number 32, who is now a slot back right. This is Dwayne Thomas, 28-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 6, and Bob Hines and Mike Colin, the Miami duo, to make the play.
That is the one spot on the Miami defensive line, rather, that Dallas has been able to have some success running. At left end, Jim Riley. There's Calvin Hill, number 35, the big running back of the Cowboys.
2nd down, between 5 and 6 for the Cowboys. This is Dwayne Thomas with a screen. 35-yard line, looks like a Dallas first down. Curtis Johnson made the tackle. The main blocker, number 76, John Nyland.
A play that Dallas has had great success with. Watch Staubach fake to his right here to set up a screen to that side to Walt Garrison and then throw back to a one-man screen on the other side. As John Nyland was out blocking in front of Dwayne Thomas after he got the first down.
And so with 5 minutes left in the first half, the Cowboys have a first down at the Dallas 35-yard line. Thomas to the 40.
Thomas carries.
And in a moment, we'll know what Tom Landry just whispered to Billy Truax.
Here's a guy you really got to admire, Billy Truax, who's played this entire year with a bad knee, which has greatly limited his mobility. But we've seen him come up with some third down catches, some really clutch catches throughout the year.
Allworth right, Hayes left, 2nd and 5 Cowboys, Dallas 40. This is Thomas, 40, first down, 46-yard line. We'll keep watching the clock. 4:17 left in the half now. Dick Anderson made the tackle. Blaine Nye was the principal blocker as the Cowboys get another first down.
Thomas has 8 carries and has picked up 42 yards so far.
And we see Dwayne Thomas, I believe that's Thomas, headed to the sidelines. Yes. There he is, Dwayne Thomas headed to the sidelines. And Calvin Hill, number 35, is in the game for the first time. Garrison, nowhere to go. Let's see who was the first man to make contact. Nick Buoniconti was there. Bob Hines was there. Gain of, at the most, a yard. 2nd down 9.
From what I had heard during the week, frankly, Ray, I didn't think Calvin Hill was going to be able to play because in the early parts of workouts, people were saying that although the workouts have been closed for both teams, were saying that Thomas was having difficulty running.
Allworth right, Hayes left, 2nd and 9. Hill came in motion, faked to Garrison, an intended screen, and Bob Hines broke it up.
There's a screen they attempted to set up right in the middle. Garrison had sort of sifted through the Miami rush, and he was open. The thing was pretty well set if Staubach had been able to get the ball to him.
Now for the Cowboys, 3rd down 9. Say, speaking of only 3:32 left in the first half, wait till you see the halftime show. Wow. Allworth left, Hayes right. Foley is out with Hayes. Curtis Johnson covering Allworth. This is 3rd and 9. Allworth. First down at the Miami 33. Dick Anderson made the tackle.
Take a look at Lance Allworth, number 19, one of the truly great receivers ever to play pro football, as he finds the open spot in the Miami zone. Right there. Just in front of Dick Anderson, who finally makes the tackle. 27-yard gain, Staubach to Allworth.
So now the Cowboys are very close to field goal range for Mike Clark, and Allworth comes to the left side, and so does Hayes. Second man, that's Calvin Hill. He's inside the 20-yard line for a first down. Anderson and Scott made the stop.
He sure didn't look hurt there, did he? By the way, Dwayne Thomas, who we've been informed is not hurt. Just sitting out for a little bit of a rest. They don't hurt themselves too much with this man in there, do they? This is Calvin Hill, 6'4", 230-pound running back from Yale. That play gained 13 yards.
We're coming up to the 2-minute mark. Frank Cornish has moved into the defense, number 71. First down at the Miami 19-yard line. Hill again, 15. He's down to the 12. We're going to have the officials tell our coaches that 2 minutes remain in the first half. So with the score, the Cowboys 3 and the Dolphins nothing. Let's pause for a moment. So just 2 minutes remain in a first half that has been almost completely dominated by the Cowboys, but they have been able to get just 3 points on the board. It is a second down and 3.5 for the Cowboys at the Dolphin 12.5.
Dominated to the point, Ray, where Dallas has run 35 offensive plays so far in the first half. Miami's run but 16. It's hard to leave a defensive unit on the field that long and expose them to offense that much without them giving up some points. They've done a good job.
Hayes and Allworth left. To this side comes Calvin Hill. He's close to a first down. It's first and goal, I believe. We noticed, incidentally, during the timeout, during the 2-minute warning, that Dwayne Thomas was talking with player coach Dan Reeves over around the 40-yard line. All right, first and goal.
That's an inside handoff that Dallas just ran, a play they had success in the other direction earlier with Dwayne Thomas carrying.
Garrison is to the left of Staubach. Hill to the right. Touchdown, Allworth.
Fantastic move by Lance Allworth. To keep his feet in bounds, he was well covered by Curtis Johnson, the cornerback on that side. Johnson doesn't think he was in bounds. Let's take a look. Staubach again with good protection. Watch Allworth's feet. Yes, sir, he's got him down, no doubt about it.
Roger Staubach really drilled that. As receiver Lance Allworth just got away from cornerback Curtis Johnson. Reeves holds, Clark kicks, another point is on the board. The Cowboys now lead the Dolphins by 10-0. We'll be back with the Dallas kickoff in just a moment. 6 yards and 11 plays. And with that much time remaining, the Dolphins are about to get the football as this Dallas defense has almost completely stymied the Miami offense thus far, aided on the first score, the field goal, by a fumble recovery. You'll notice the ball was not teed up by going out of bounds, and you saw the marker fly from one of the officials. The Cowboys now will have to kick off from the Cowboy 35-yard line.
That, by the way, was not an onside kick attempt by Mike Clark. It was just realizing that they have to kick into a very tough wind. The Cowboys did not want to take a chance that Mercury Morris or Hubert Ginn might get a running start and set up a long kickoff return. It was not an onside kick by any means. It was just to get away from a long return. That, by the way, is the first penalty of the game.
Amazing.
You'd figure with two teams keyed up like this, now he's got the ball sitting up. He's going to kick away, so they will be able to set up a return.
Now just one man is deep. I believe that's Mercury Morris, right. Into the wind now. Mercury at the 20. And the Cowboys covered the kick beautifully. It'll be Miami from the Dolphin 31-yard line with 1:10 left in the half. First man down, Isaac Thomas. Second man, Claxton Welch. So let's see what the Dolphins can do now, trailing by 10-0. Twilley and Warfield are both on the left side. On first down, Bob Greasy, great protection. Gain of about 7 to the 37-yard line. Green made the tackle on Paul Warfield.
There's the man who just scored the touchdown, or you saw him just a second ago. Lance Allworth, number 19. Spent so many years with San Diego. This is first in Dallas. Talking about the way the Miami wide receivers, there's the conference on the sideline with Bob Greasy just walking in. Don Shula talking. The other man is the other Miami quarterback, George Myra, who backs up Bob Greasy.
Change at tight end, Miami. Jim Mandich, number 88, has replaced Marv Fleming. The Cowboys have a fifth defensive back in, Charlie Waters.
And they have only 3 linemen rushing. One is 85, Tody Smith, number 85, as I said. I believe the other is Pat Toomey, right. 67.
So now it'll be second down and 5 for the Dolphins from the Dolphin 37-yard line with only 52 seconds remaining in the first half. Bill Gregory, number 77, has now moved in defensively.
I think indicative of the outstanding job that Tom Landry's defense has done is the fact that that is the first pass Paul Warfield has caught, and he's been held to a net gain of 5 yards.
Second down, 5. Twilley comes to the right. Herb Adderley moves with him. D.D. Lewis is in the game defensively now. A 3-man rush. This coming out of the backfield, Jim Kick out to the 48-yard line. 40 seconds now left in the first half. And no huddle, as you'll see. Warfield left. Twilly right. The clock starts to run. Marker down. Was it intercepted by Herb Adderley? Let's check the marker first. No, it is ruled it is not an interception. But there was a marker at the snap. That's worth a second look.
Let's take a look at Adderley. He's number 26. The rest of the Cowboys were yelling that he should get up and run with this ball, but let's see. He ought to be coming into the picture right now. Yes. He knew he didn't have it. I thought the way he stayed on the ground, he might have been hurt. Here it is again. You can see it just grazing the top of the artificial surface. Here's the indication.
Offside. It'll be 1st and 5. And now a host of substitutions are made with only 22 seconds left in the half.
Miami still has 2 timeouts left. They've used only one of their allotted 3.
Andre, Lilly, Pugh, and Cole are all in there now. Warfield and Twilly to the left. 1st and 5 in the Dallas 47. Inside the 25-yard line. Warfield has caught his second pass. And now the Dolphins are in range.
They've used another timeout.
Super Bowl has got to give them a big lift here in the waning moments of this second quarter. And Andy, you know, on the last play to Warfield, they're going into the slot formation with Warfield sitting in that slot, and they're forcing Dallas into a zone on that side. And, of course, this is what Dallas would prefer to stay out of.
Cliff Harris and Isaac Thomas, no relation to Dwayne, are deep for the Cowboys. And here's Yepremian, and he kicks a low one. He doesn't want a long return by a deep man. It's picked up by number 41, Charlie Waters, at the 30. Waters out across the 35 to the 37-yard line, and that chews up the 4 seconds as Bob Petrella of Miami makes the stop at that point. So the halftime score reads 10 for Dallas and 3 for Miami.
Well, that's the way it is right now, with the Dallas team controlling the ball in that first half and leading in the game by a score of 10-3. But, of course, we have 30 minutes to go after intermission break, and a lot of things perhaps will happen to the Miami attack. Halftime for the Super Bowl game number 6 from New Orleans, Louisiana. With the score, the Dallas Cowboys 10 and the Miami Dolphins 3. You're listening to Professional Football on the AFRTS Parade of Sports.
But Miami touchdown hopes fell harmlessly off Warfield's chest. A replay demonstrates why. Warfield broke free behind Green, but the Dallas safety reacted back to deflect the ball. Time was short, and Miami called on its tiny Cypriot hero, Garo Yepremian, to salvage 3 points. Miami had demonstrated its quick striking capabilities, and in a half dominated by Dallas, the Dolphins left the field still in contention 10-3.